Well, good morning, everybody. We've got quite a few attendees here today. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. If you need to contact me, you're welcome to ask questions in the chat box in the top and bottom right-hand corner of the window. If you have any problems, please let me know. Okay, so let's get started. So we're all here today to talk about the 10 best features of 3CX telephones. Let's get started. So, what or who is 3CX? Basically, 3CX is a telephone system. Now, we've all got telephone systems, so what makes this any different from other telephone systems? Well, it was created in 2005, and what makes them absolutely different is that unlike other older phone systems, 3CX is software-based. Now, in the olden days, you would have had a phone PBX hardware installed on the wall in your building, and you'd have some phones wired into that box. 3CX is slightly different. It's a piece of software that you install somewhere. We'll come to that a little later on. And when you install it, you connect your handsets to this software system. What that means is that 3CX is a business that's based in Cyprus, with offices now all over the world, including Australia, Brazil, and so on. They're really rapidly growing into an enormous organization. They're used now by thousands of businesses worldwide, including some massive names, Fortune 500 companies, as well as smaller businesses around the world. Why? Well, frankly, it's because of the amount of features they've got in their system. They are absolutely feature rich. Now, we could go on for hours and hours and hours about all the features that are available. I'm just going to run you through 10 of what I think are the best features of 3CX. Firstly, no more clunky telephone lines. I'm sure many businesses have got a little pile of lines like this within their offices. Our 3CX phone system does away with that. So traditionally, phone lines are copper wire based. They are also known as ISDN, PSDN, or analog phone lines, all of the same sort of thing, a little nest of wires like this coming into your building. Thing is, copper wire phone lines are ending. BT are no longer going to offer them for sale from 2020, or so they say, and they even say they're going to start removing them from 2025. So why are they doing that? Well, frankly, copper phone lines are expensive. They're expensive to buy, they're expensive to install, they're expensive to maintain, and they are a high-value commodity that people like to steal. So often people will rip up the road and steal copper wires from the road, believe it or not. So yes, BT would like to do away with this as soon as possible. Thing is, what can you do with phone lines if you don't have physical actual lines coming into the building? Well, their replacement is something called SIP trunks. These are virtual phone lines that come down through the internet connection and into the 3CX. There is no physical line. It comes through the internet from various providers like us. Benefits of SIP trunks are that you can have unlimited channels. You pay per channel, and you can have easily add on more, take off channels as your business needs change. SIP trunks are also virtual. They can be pointed anywhere. So if you have a sudden disaster and you need to relocate your office, or you want to move offices, you can point SIP trunks anywhere. Also, for international businesses, it means you can have a US SIP trunk for the price that the US pay. You don't have to have it forwarded to a UK number and pay expensive costs. So SIP trunks really are a phenomenal way of getting calls into your phone system. So because there's no physical wires, there's cheaper rental and cheaper calls. There's less maintenance. So overall, you get to save. That, in my opinion, is by far one of the best features of 3CX. The next best feature of 3CX is that the phone system is feature-rich, I think, and easy to configure. So what? Well, you can log in via any web browser to configure the phone system. You just go to a web browser, put in your particular address, and away, log in, and away you go. You're able to configure the phone system. Now, traditionally, older phone systems were a closed secret. you had to go off to a training course and you select a few people knew how to do it. With 3CX, the phone system, there's lots and lots of training and guidance available online. Just Google 3CX, how to do anything, and it's there. You can see it on YouTube and so on. Okay, so that puts the power back into your hands. You're not at the beck and call of any particular company. The other feature of 3CX is it's feature rich. I mean, there are thousands of functions in this web browser here. It looks really quite simple, but when you dig down into it, there's all sorts of things, from a digital receptionist, you can forward to mobile, music on hold is included, you can have voicemail to email. There are literally thousands of features for you to turn on. All of that goes to make your business appear utterly professional when you are dealing with your clients. Also, built-in feature-rich reporting. I mean, the reporting is unbelievably detailed, but in a simple way, simple and easy to read. You can see who's calling in, who answered the call, how long the call was there for. All built in. These aren't paying extras. Everything we're talking about today is all included. There's also built-in call recording. So you can record as much storage as you have available to the 3CX. So no longer do you pay for certain amounts of storage depending on license costs. No, it's all included in with the 3CX. So that's the best feature number 2. Let's talk about the best feature number 3. Now you can put 3CX, because it's a software product, you can put it where you like. You can either have it in your building or you can have it on the cloud. So it can be installed in your building on an existing piece of equipment. If you've got some spare server capacity, you could install 3CX on that server. You can be installing it on a dedicated piece of equipment. Some people may choose to buy a server just for the 3CX. Now, 3CX isn't a heavy demanding software program. It's quite light, so it will install on relatively low-end equipment, which is really good. Of course, it depends how many calls and you want to have together at the same time, as well as how many recordings you want to store. Well, that will all go to dictate the size of equipment that you need. It can be installed on-premise and replicated to the cloud. Why would you do that? Well, you do that so that if there was an issue with your on-premise computer, the cloud could take over. So you've got some resiliency there. Or it can be deployed 100% on cloud. You may not want it on your premise. You may want to have it on the cloud. Okay? All of these decisions will come down to talking to one of us when we come to see you and have a chat about what your needs are and the best way to work. But why would you have it on premise? Well, less monthly cost. If you're going on the cloud, there's a monthly cost to hosting on the cloud because you're using other people's equipment and they need to maintain it, update it, pay for electricity and internet costs and so on. So you need to save that cost, you could buy the equipment and have it in your own premises. Also, if you're not particularly cloud ready or you're not really switched on to the cloud, you would probably want it on premise instead. Why would you have it on the cloud? Less capital outlay, no equipment to buy, no server equipment. You could just leverage the cloud and use their equipment instead. Resiliency, if you have it on the cloud, if you suffer a flood, fire, theft, or any kind of accident, say a lorry drives into your building, you can continue to receive and make calls with 3CX because it's on the cloud. It's utterly disjoined from your company. So that's benefit number 3. Let's talk about number 4. Save up to 80% of telephony costs. Now that's a bold claim, but I really believe you can save that much money. First of all, 3CX is licensed by simultaneous calls. This is the first place you can save some money. A lot of phone systems are licensed per extension. So if you've got 25 extensions, 100 extensions, you'll be paying 100 license costs. That's not the way 3CX works. 3CX works by the number of simultaneous calls. So if you've got 100 extensions but rarely make calls, then you could go and have a license of only 8 simultaneous calls. SIP trunks. Oh, bear with me a second. We're having someone who can't hear. If you're having trouble hearing me, try restarting. Try refreshing the page. Try refreshing the page. Just anybody else? Can anybody else hear me? Just making sure my microphone isn't muted, which it isn't. Anybody else hear me? Nobody else? Okay, well, we'll carry on for a minute. Yep, other people are hearing me, so that's okay. That's good. Diane, yep, try refreshing your page. Okay, so 3CX also, we talked about the savings in terms of license costs because you're not paying per extension. You can also now save on the phone lines. BT charge £19.70 per phone line. SIP trunks, we can supply them for £5 a trunk. So another huge saving there. SIP calls, because they're digital, they can be up to 80% cheaper than BT. Yeah. 3CX pricing is the best in class. There's no other phone system that is this competitively priced. The annual fee for the 3CX system includes all feature security updates, new features, and also upgrades. So with 3CX, it's not like the traditional phone system where once that was out of date, you have to bin it, throw it away, and buy a new one. This one's perpetually updating, perpetually keeping up with new technologies as well. That's benefit number 4. Let's talk about benefit number 5. Handsets that work anywhere. So what do we mean by that? 3CX handsets, so these handsets that connect to the 3CX phone system, do so through the internet. And because they connect through the internet, they are geographically independent. So that means that they connect to the phone system, but they don't care what building, what office, what location they're in. As soon as they're connected to the internet, they'll work. Now, think about that. That means that the main office number can now ring all the branches, if you have multiple branches, and any handsets you might have at home, and any mobile devices. And from the caller's perspective, they won't know where the person they're calling is based, whether that person's at home, working at home that day, whether that person's in another branch. They're able to get a seamless service regardless of the number they've called. Because the handsets work anywhere, you might think that actually they won't ring for a certain group. Nope, all the ring groups, the hunt groups and queues, they all will work across all the phones regardless of where those phones are. Also, because the phones can work in any location, provides the business with excellent disaster resilience. If there is a problem with the big building and you can't get in, part of the disaster plan can be to pick up the handset, take it to another location where there is internet, and away you go, you're working. So let's talk about the 6th best feature of 3CX, working without handsets. Now, that sounds a bit crazy, but literally install an Android app on your mobile phone and it will work as a handset. So no need for a physical handset, just install the app on your Android or iPhone. You could install a Windows desktop app or a Mac app, install it on Windows or Mac, and with a USB headset, you're able to make and receive calls as if it's a desk phone. It'll work exactly the same way. You just dial the number, make a call. When the call comes in, your app on your computer will ring and you can answer it from your desk. Another great feature. If you don't want to install either of those two things, you can even just log into the web interface via Chrome or Firefox, and both you'll be able to make and receive calls directly from the app. Nothing to install, nothing to configure, just log in. Now you can use 1, 2, or all the methods at once. What do I mean by that? You can have your Android or iPhone app working, as well as your Windows app, as well as your desk phone. It's up to you which of those devices work and how they work. They can all work at the same time, or you can choose to have one of them working whenever it suits you. Best feature number 7, know your business. So 3CX helps you know your business with tools such as a reception module that lets you see current and active calls. Now I'm just going to pull up a little pointer here so I can show you. There's a pointer, here we go. So the reception module lets you see current and active calls here. So here we can see who's calling and who are they calling. Who's called and who are they calling. how long the call has been active. So this module really lets you see what's going on inside your business at any one time. You can also see the state of the extensions. So Rebecca here is available to take calls. Bella, Shelby, and Thomas are all on the phone, and these guys are all unavailable, either logged out of their handsets or they are not plugged in. Jennifer here is on Do Not Disturb. She might be in a meeting or for whatever reason has put her Do Not Disturb on. But at a glance, you get to see the exact state of your business and who's available and who's not. So that's the reception module. With Queue Manager, you can also see who's in the queue, who's waiting to be answered, how long they've been in the queue, how many abandoned calls, how many people have fallen out of the queue. So here you can see calls waiting, all the phones that are in use in the queue, which then goes to help you minimize the lost calls. No one wants lost calls. But it also helps you to see the performance and make sure that you're meeting your customers' expectations. Wall chart helps to motivate teams. So built into 3CX is a wall chart that lets you see who's waiting, how many agents are on the phone at the moment, what your talk time is at the last period, how many calls you've taken, how many of you answered and how many of you missed, and what's the average waiting time for your customers. So really, really useful apps built into 3CX at no extra charge to help you know your business. Amaze your customers. This is one of my favorite. I love this. So the 8th best feature of 3CX, in my opinion, is where you can link it to your CRM system so that you can show your customers' names as you answer the call. When you answer the call, it'll pull from your CRM system the name of who's calling. Now, that really is super useful in the business environment. When a call comes in, you're able to see who it is and be prepared and answer that person already knowing who they are. Really, really useful. You can see their names in the reception and queue manager. So we can see who's called in, who they're speaking to, who's called out, and who they're speaking to. All of this is linked to your CRM system and goes to help show who's talking to who. Even better than that, you can arrange, if your CRM supports it, you can arrange so that when you answer a call, your CRM system pops up the client information. This really, really, really is an amazing and useful service. So from here, we're able to then directly liaise with the client and really know our customers. Now, that does go a long way to amaze the customer, your customer. So that's the 8th best feature of 3CX. Let's talk about the 9th best feature, engage with your customers. So this is super important. We all want to engage with our customers. And 3CX has some built-in tools that will let you do that. First of all, the web chat. Web chat can be added to any website. It allows you to have a little chat bot down here, or a chat interface just down here that can be styled into your company's colors with your own logos. In here, clients can visit your website, communicate with you directly, and it will appear on your computer on the web app. So here it is. We can see the client talking, chatting to us, and immediately it's popping up here, and we're able to respond directly from the desktop. In addition to that, we can also, this entire webinar is presented using 3CX. No additional licensing costs, no additional fees, all built into 3CX. Simply log into the web client and away you go. Create a web meeting, invite some people, and you're presenting just like that. So, great way to interact with clients or even with other staff in other branches. So that's the 9th best feature. Let's talk about the 10th best feature of 3CX. No hassle installation. Now, because it's a software-based product, there's no long-term contracts to sign, no more 36-month agreements, no more commitments. Your existing phone numbers can all be kept and migrated across to the 3CX phone system, so you don't need new phone numbers, you don't need to reconfigure, notify all your clients. It's all here and will come across. 3CX will adapt to changing circumstances easily. So if you choose to move offices, very easy to move across with you because there are no physical phone lines. So no hassle installing it in a new office or into if you move floors or so on. 3CX can be deployed within 1 working day. So as soon as you know that you want to go with 3CX, it can be easily installed, configured, and you can be up and running with soft phones in next to no time at all. So those are the 10 best features of 3CX. Now, we can go into many more details about 3CX, and we can look at all the different options that are available there, but that's probably for another webinar for another day. For now, though, if you have any more questions, please let me know. There's the chat box here. You're more than welcome to ask questions here now. If you like what you see and you'd like to have a chat with us, please let us know. You can either give us a call on our main number or drop us an email, and we're more than happy to come out and discuss your needs. But those are the 10 best features, in my opinion, of 3CX. Any questions? If you do have any questions, please go ahead and type them in the box at the bottom here. All quiet? No questions? Great. In that case, then I will say goodbye and thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching.